Hello friends, in this session we will see phasor diagram for a synchronous motor. First case would be regarding variation of the field current. Second case would be regarding variation of power. So let us begin friends. Now we have already seen that according to the first and foremost assumptions what should happen to a synchronous. Let me consider the first case. Let us think of synchronous motor, correct? Phasor diagram we are interested to find in. Now see, we have seen that in our first and foremost assumption that my synchronous motor can be only connected with what? Infinite source, that is infinite bus. It can never be connected to an alternator. Kind of. Why? Because in case of alternator you can have two alternators, connected to each other. But here you just cannot have that. Why? Because according to the first and foremost assumptions. Right, no? Yes. Anyways, let us move on to the next one. So it is connected to the infinite bus. This is first case. Second, we are assuming that let it operate. We are trying to operate the machine at leading power factor this time, not lagging, leading power factor. Remember this. Let me do it with leading power factor case. Third is what? Motor output. Motor output we are trying to keep constant. So motor output we will keep constant. Output power we will keep constant, and we will keep our field variation such that we can have this excitation control, kind of, excitation, variation in excitation, correct? Yes, see, so we can definitely have this if as variable, field current as variable. So what happens when field current is varied in case of motor? That is what we are interested into, correct? Yes. So if you check out here, when we talk of output power of a synchronous motor, correct? Can I say that if output of the synchron, for example, if this is the motor, correct? If I say that output of it is something like kind of output power, correct? Then my input power and output power has to be same or not? Lossless condition, same or not? Correct? It has to be same. Yes, sir. That is the reason we will use, because in case of motor we know that input is electrical but the output is mechanical, correct? So what will we do is, see, when I say that output is constant, it means that we know that, for example, this is a motor this way. This will be attached to some what? This will be attached to some brake drum like this, correct? No, brake drum will be there like this. We have talked about it earlier as well in the first videos, correct? No, anyways, and then here you will be having some springs, correct? So these springs you have to tighten the springs, and now you are keeping it at the same position. This is what we mean when I say that output power is constant. Now we know that if output power is constant, then definitely electrical input power has to be also constant, correct or not? Yes. That is the reason we can consider the electrical equivalent power only, and we can say that if my power is constant, if I say that my power is constant, correct, then this P, we know that we can write it as what? Vt Ia cos phi. Yes or no? Vt Ia cos phi. Yes, sir. Now we already know that this Vt is constant or not? Yes, sir. Vt is constant. Why? Infinite bus, connected to infinite bus. That is the reason. Now what about this power P? Constant or not? Yes, sir. Power P is also constant, which means, can I say that my Ia cos phi has to be constant? Can I say that my Ia cos phi has to be constant? Yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. Ia cos phi has to be constant. This is the first thing. Then next is what? We also know that equation of power is also given by what? Ef Vt Ef Vt by xs into sine delta. Yes or no? Ef Vt by xs into sine delta. Out of which we know that already we know what? We know that this Vt is constant. Yes or no? Why? Infinite bus. Same story. Again, this xs is constant. Why? Because it is decided by machine, no? Machine constant it is. Then next is what? This power. If this power, we keep this power to be constant, then it means that this whole of ef sine delta has to be constant. Yes or no? So ef sine delta has to be constant. So basically what? Ef sine delta has to be constant, and ia cos phi has to be constant. These are the two ways which has to be constant. Third thing, what is there? field IF is varied or not? IF is varied. Correct? Correct or not? So this means if IF is variable, then definitely EF is also varied. So EF is variable. EF is varied. Correct or not? Yes. Now either I can increase it or I can decrease it. So let me decrease it. Let us decrease IF in our phasor diagram. Let us start with drawing the phasor diagram now. Okay. So let us draw VT first. This is VT, correct? What about IA? Leading or lagging? Leading condition, no, we have already assumed it to be leading power factor connected. So let me have it leading. So this is IA1, which is leading, correct? Now question is, where will be EF? Definitely, see, IA axis will be 90 degrees to this, so it should come to left or it should come to right. That is our question, right? Point of interest. So now we know that in case of a synchronous motor, what happens? What happens? Field poles are behind the resultant poles or not? Yes, field poles are behind the resultant poles. It means what? EF has to lag VT or not? Yes, in case of alternator, EF leads VT, but in case of synchronous motor, what happens is EF lags VT by an angle delta H. Yes or no? Correct. So this means that definitely my IA axis should be where now? So my IA axis should come like this. So 90 degrees from IA going through VT, 90 degrees from IA going through VT. So what should happen here? This is it. So this has to be what? This has to be my IA1 axis. Correct or not? Yes. Now VT plus IA1 axis will give me what? EF. So this is EF. This is going to be my EF. Correct or not? Yes sir, no problem. This is my EF. Let me consider EF1 because IA1 we are considering. No? So let me consider EF1. Why? Because EF is variable. That is the reason. Anyways, no problem. Now, what is next? We know that our, what do we say? EF sine delta has to be constant or not? Yes. So this is delta, right? Angle between VT and EF. Correct? It is delta. So we know that, what we know? EF sine delta has to be constant or not? Yes. So if we consider EF sine delta has to be constant, so this has to be like this. So this is going to be EF sine delta will be where? This has to be EF sine delta. So when I say that EF sine delta is constant, then it means EF sine delta, which is this, and it is constant. Yes or no? This is EF sine delta. This is EF sine delta. Now if I decrease my field current, what will happen? EF will reduce. If EF will reduce, let me consider that my EF has reduced till here, for example. Correct? By the way, here it is delta 1. Correct, no? Now if I say that my EF has been reduced to this value, so let me just have this. Why? Because EF sin delta has to be constant or not? Yes sir, EF sin delta has to be constant. So let me keep it here constant itself. So this is it. So this is what? This is nothing but my EF2. If you see, length decreased, but EF sin delta is constant. Length of EF has been reduced, but EF sin delta is constant. What about IA2 axis? IA2 axis will be what? Between VT and EF2 only one thing is there, which is nothing but IA axis. So here I will be having IA2 axis. This is IA2 axis. Problem solved. Now let us decrease field current even more. What happens then? IF2, then this thing will, what will happen? It will reduce even more. So let me consider that it has reduced till here. Let us say, or here for example, if it has reduced till here. So let me just call this. So this is going to be, if it is reduced even more, so this is going to be what? This is going to be my EF3. Yes or no? Yes sir, this is EF3. Now you please tell me what has happened now. If this is EF3, then between VT and EF3 what is there? Only one thing is there. What is that? IA3 axis. is having only Ia3 axis. Correct or not? Yes. Now, if you see angle between this red is what? It is nothing but delta 2, and angle between this orange delta is further increased, no? So this is nothing but delta 4. Correct or not? Yes. Now let us see one more. If I think that EF has even more reduced and reached here, so this is my minimum EF, which is nothing but EF4, I can call, or I can also call it as EF minimum. Correct or not? Now, what is there between this EF4 and VT? If you see between EF4 and VT, there is only one thing, which is nothing but IA4 axis. So IA4 axis, correct or not? Yes. Now, next thing which they are saying is that Ia cos phi is constant, correct or not? Ia cos phi is constant. This means what? If this is Ia1, then Ia cos phi comes where? What is here? Ia cos phi, which is constant, no? Ia cos phi is also constant. Which means what? Even if I change Ia1, length of Ia1 may change, but Ia cos phi has to remain constant. Same old story as of alternator. Same things. We are repeating just them once again. That's it. Okay. Anyways, now, for example, let us think of red. Ia axis. Where will be Ia2 now? Where will be Ia2? 90 degrees. 90 degrees lagging to Ia axis. Ia axis is where? Ia axis is here. So Ia2 will be here. This is your Ia2. Now next, let us think of orange. Where will be Ia3? See, 90 degrees from this, 90 degrees from Ia3 axis. So 90 degrees from Ia3, from axis of Ia3 axis, if I consider 90 degrees, then like this, correct? So somewhere here, I hope you can see this, no? Somewhere here it will be Ia3. Even if you don't say, it's fine. You have understood the concept. No, that is important for me. Correct? No, somewhere here. So what can I do is, let me just have this with this pink. It's okay. See this one. This pink which I have shown, that is nothing but Ia3. Correct? Just for your understanding purpose, I have highlighted it. Now what should be Ia4? Ia4 will be what? 90 degrees from here is going to be Ia4. 90 degrees from Ia4 axis, correct? No, which means what? My Ia4 is going to be like this. This is my Ia4. Correct or not? Yes, sir. Now, this is the whole story. This is how it looks. Diagram looks. Now, my point of interest is what? See, my point of interest is Q. We know that reactive power Q. What is Q? Now, definitely, in case of motor, if you see Q input, we see it is nothing but Vt by xs into Vt minus Ef cos delta. Yes or no? Yes. Now, if I think of reactive power, if it is this way, then can I say that output reactive power will be negative of this one? Same story, we have seen this earlier as well, no? Correct? So, if this is this way, so can I say that Q output is nothing but equal to minus Q input? Yes, send this minus sign here, no problem. So, minus Q input is what? Minus of Vt by xs into Vt minus Ef into cos of delta. Yes or no? Which is nothing but what? Minus n goes inside, so this can be interchanged, no? So it becomes Vt by xs into Ef cos delta minus Vt. This becomes my Q output of the motor. Now again, same old story. What happens if my Ef cos delta minus Vt, if it turns out to be positive, then what will I say? I will say that reactive power is delivered. Yes or no? If it comes out to be 0, what can I say? What can I say? I can say that Q is neither delivered nor absorbed. So this one is going to be normal excitation. Whenever it is supplying Q, it becomes over excitation. And if it comes to be negative, negative in the sense output is negative. Output is negative in the sense supplied negative power. Supply negative power. Supply negative reactive power. Supply negative reactive power in the sense, can I say that it is absorbing positive power? Yes. So it is going to Q absorb, and this case is same old story. What is that going to be? It is going to be Q, what do we say, under excited. Yes or no? Yes. Now if you see here, if you think of this EF1 which is there, EF1 which is there here, correct? What is EF1 cos delta? EF1 cos delta 1. EF1 cos delta 1 will be here, no? EF1 cos of delta 1. Correct or not? EF1 cos of delta 1 it will be here itself, no? Yes. Now if you compare, EF cos of delta 1 is up to here and VT is only up to here, which means what? EF cos of delta 1 is more, VT is less. So for EF1, what has happened? EF1 cos of delta 1 is more, VT is less, more than VT, which means what should happen? Q is what? If EF cos of delta, if EF cos of delta is more and VT is less, then combinedly it will become positive. If it becomes positive, then what can I say? Can I say that it delivers Q? Yes, it delivers Q. And if it delivers Q, then it means it is going to be which machine? Overexcited or not? It is operating in overexcited condition or not? Yes, which means what? This particular blue is nothing but what? Overexcitation. Correct or not? Yes. Now let us think of red. If you observe carefully this red, EF2. What will be EF2 cos of delta 2? EF2 cos of delta 2 will be here or not? Yes, this will be the length of EF2 cos of delta. If you see length of EF2 cos of delta 2 and your VT, is it same or not? Yes. So length of EF2 and cos of delta 2. So if I think of EF2, then EF2 cos of delta 2 is same as VT. Therefore, can I say that my Q, reactive power Q output is going to be what? If both are equal, then it turns out to be 0. And if it turns out to be 0, we can say that it is neither delivering nor absorbing. Therefore, we say that it is going to be normal excitation. What is going to be? Normal excitation, correct? Yes. Now let us think of EF3. If you consider EF3, what is EF3? EF3 is here. So if you see here, if you come here, let me draw EF3 cos of EF3 cos of delta 3. How much big it will be? If you see, VT is more, VT, length of VT is more, EF3 cos of delta 3 is less, correct? For EF3 case, what has happened? EF3 cos of delta 3 is less than VT. That is the reason, can I say that the reactive power Q is going to be negative? Yes. See, no, EF cos of delta is less and VT is more. So can I say that Q is negative? Yes. Whole sum will be negative. If the sum is negative, then can I say that it is going to be, it is going to what? Absorb reactive power? Yes or no? Yes, it is going to absorb. And we know that under excited synchronous machine absorbs reactive power. Yes or no? So can I say that? So can I say that this orange is nothing but under excited, and red was what? Red was nothing but normal excitation, correct? No? So over, normal, under, problem solved. Same old story as previous, same old story we are going to follow. This is the same story, correct? Now next, let us see what happens. Let us see what happens if my output power is changed. Output power is varied or kind of increased. What will happen then? Let us see. See, let me consider second case for motor. How is it connected? How is motor connected? Connected to infinite bus, no? 100% connected to infinite bus. Yes or no? Yes. The next is what? Operating at which power factor? Lagging or leading? Leading, no? Let me consider leading power factor. You can consider lagging also. It's upon you. You can consider unity power factor also. But then it's definitely you won't be able to see that over excitation case. So it's upon you then. If you take leading, it's fine. If you take lagging, it's fine. But then you will need to change them, vary that considering thing, correct? Okay, anyways, forget about it. Next is what? Output power. Output power we are considering variable, correct or not? So let me consider that it is increased. that it is increased. Correct. Then next is what? Next is what? IF. Let us consider field current to be constant. Means what? Excitation is constant, but the output power is changed. Output power is increased in the sense what? For example, if you consider this as motor, correct? If this is motor, then it will be having some brake drum or not? This will be brake drum. This will be the springs. If you tighten the springs even more, what will happen? What will happen? Load torque will increase. Load torque will increase. Correct or not? Load torque will increase. If load torque will increase, definitely what will happen? Output power will be increased. If output power is increased, then can I say input power equivalent will also increase? Means it will absorb. If output is increased, definitely input power has to be increased. So if input power is increased, so in such a case, that is the reason. Can I take this aside? So we can say that power I have, power is going to be what? Vt Ia cos phi, electrical equivalent of that mechanical power. So it is nothing but Vt Ia cos phi. So can I say that if my power is increased, correct, my Vt, I know Vt is going to be constant only. Why? Infinite bus connected. If my power is increased, so can I say that Ia cos phi is increased? Yes. So I can say that Ia cos phi is to be increased. Yes or no? The whole thing has to be increased. Now next is what? We also know one more equation of power. What is that? EF Vt by xs into sine delta. Yes or no? Yes sir. What is Vt? We already know Vt is constant. We already know xs has to be constant. Machine constant it is, correct. The next is what? EF into sine delta. Now see, if you are increasing this power, then definitely EF into sine delta is to increase. So can I say that EF sine delta, same old story, don't worry, same old story. EF sine delta is to increase, correct? Yes. Then we have seen that IF we are considering constant. If we say that field current is constant, excitation is constant, then definitely excitation EMF EF has to be constant. Which means what? From here, if you see, if EF is constant and EF sine delta is increasing, which means what? See, EF sine delta, correct? EF sine delta whole has to increase, but out of that we know EF is constant or not. Yes, which means what? Sine delta is to increase. If sine delta is to increase, then I can say that delta is to be increased. So remember this point, delta is to be increased, and these 2 points also very important. That's it, problem solved. Then that's it. Let us try to draw the phasor diagram for the same. Let me consider Vt vertical. Now what will I do? I'll consider leading current. No, leading current only we are considering. So let me consider Ia1 here, correct. Now definitely what should happen now? 90 degrees from Ia1, we know this, no? 90 degrees from Ia1, so kind of this way. Now we know, since it is a synchronous motor, since it is motor, EF should lag behind Vt. So definitely my Ia axis should come in this direction. So Ia1 axis comes in this direction. Ia1 axis comes in this direction. Yes or no? And this Vt and Ia1 axis here. Here I would get EF. Problem solved. So this is nothing but EF. And angle between Vt and EF is going to be delta 1. Let me consider. Correct or not? Now EF is constant. That is the reason I am not saying that it is EF1 or EF2 and stuff like that. Anyways, next is what? EF is constant. Now we know that when you are increasing power, delta is to be increased or not? Yes. So if delta is to be increased, so let me consider that I am increasing delta furthermore to, let us say here, this is delta 2 for example, correct. So if I increasing it up to here, then what will happen? So the same length EF I will have here in this direction. EF will be of the same length, just that delta is changed. So this is EF only. And between EF and Vt, what do we have between EF and Vt? We definitely have only Ia2 axis. So this is going to be Ia2 axis. Same old story we are doing. Same old story we are doing. Correct or not? Yes. It's a delta 2. Now what happens? Even now, if I increase my delta even more, then what will happen? If I increase my delta even more, what happens then? For example, I came up to here. Let us consider I increased it furthermore up to here. Let us say this is delta 3. I increased it even more. So what will happen? Same length EF I would get, same length EF I will get, but it will be here now. So this will be EF, same length EF, but angle between Vt and EF has changed. That's it. That is the only thing. Now what is there? Between EF and Vt, you have only one thing. What is that? What is that one thing you have between EF and Vt? It is nothing but Ia axis. So this is nothing but what? Ia3 axis. Yes or no? Yes sir, IA3 axis it is. Then if I increase my delta even more, now if I increase my delta even more, let us say 90 degrees I made, so what will happen? Same EF length I will get, but here at 90 degrees. Correct or not? So this is nothing but what delta 4, which is equal to 90 degrees. This is the thing. Now let us think of IA2 and IA3. Where will be IA2? 90 degrees from IA2 axis voltage drop. Voltage drop is what IA2 axis. So 90 degrees from there I will be having IA2. Now is there constraint? Now see, if you check out here, IA1 axis length is less, IA2 axis length is more. Yes or no? IA2 axis length is less, IA2 axis length is more. It signifies that IA2 is more. Correct? No. Axis is constant only, no? That means IA2 is more. So IA2 is more than IA1. So definitely IA2 will come here 90 degrees. So this is going to be IA2. Now let us consider IA3. If we think of IA3, 90 degrees to my this thing, 90 degrees to my this thing. So it will come like this. 90 degrees to my orange line, 90 degrees to my IA3 axis, 90 degrees to my IA3 axis this way. So what will be it? So IA3 will be this one. Furthermore, even more increased. This is going to be IA3. Correct or not? Yes sir, this is IA3. Now next is what IA4. IA4, let us understand where IA4 will be. So here again see, it is now in order to find IA4. Now again one thing which we left out here. What was that? What is there between, this is EF, no? This is EF. What is there between VT and EF? What is there between that? Between VT and EF, you definitely have only this drop, which is nothing but, which drop is there between this one? Is nothing but IF4 axis. Yes or no? Yes. Between them we have this drop. Now again 90 degrees to this drop I will have. Now if you see again here, if you observe, IA4 axis is more, length of IA4 axis is more, IA3 axis is less. Yes or no? Which means definitely it will be more. So 90 degrees to this again. So furthermore increase. So this is going to be IA4 90 degrees. Correct, no? Yes sir. This is the way it is. We have understood it. Now let us understand. Now let us understand something. See, let us see if those things which had to increase have increased or not. Let us see. What is the first thing? IA cos phi is increased. Let us see. The first one, if you see IA1, if you consider IA1 blue, if you consider blue IA1, then what is there? Where is IA1 cos phi for blue? For blue case, if you see, IA1 cos phi is only here. Yes or no? Yes sir. Then in case of IA2, IA2 came here. So IA2 cos phi, IA2 cos phi 2, this is cos phi 1. So IA2 cos phi 2 has also increased. Yes or no? Phi 2 in the sense angle, no? Yes. IA2 cos phi 2 has even more increased. Then again, IA3 comes out to be here. Yes or no? This is going to be IA3. So again here, what has happened? IA3 cos of phi 3. Again, you can check it out for yourself. IA cos phi has increased or not? Yes. IA cos phi has increased, sir. Similarly, let us think of whether EF sin delta is increased or not. If you see EF sin delta, for the first one, blue, same also for blue, this length is going to be EF sin delta or not? Yes, this length is going to be EF sin delta, sir. EF sin delta 1. Then what is next? Next EF is here, correct or not? So this length is going to be what? EF sin delta 2. Again for the next one here, if you think of this EF4 orange, then again here also EF sin delta 3. It is even more, which means what? EF sin delta has increased or not? Yes, EF sin delta is increased in order to increase the power. Same thing, no problem, sir. Same thing only happening. Now, let us understand reactive power supply such that we can say which one is overexcited, underexcited, and normal excited. What is that Q equation? What is that Q equation? Vt by x is into what? EF cos delta minus Vt. Yes or no? Yes, sir. EF cos delta minus Vt. We know that EF cos delta minus Vt. If this turns out to be positive, then we say that it is going to deliver Q. Correct or not? If it turns out to be zero, we say nothing has happened. When it is delivering reactive power, we say that it is overexcited. When it is neither delivering nor absorbing, we say that it is normal excitation. Yes or no? And whenever it is negative, we say that it is going to be what? Absorb reactive power, and hence we call it to be under excitation. Yes or no? This is what we have seen 1,000 times till now. Correct? No need to waste time onto it. Correct? No. Anyways, now see here what has happened. See, what is EF cos delta? See, EF cos delta will come here. Yes or no? This is EF cos delta. EF cos of delta 1. For if you consider for EF cos delta 1 case, if you see EF cos of delta 1. Now if you observe, EF cos of delta 1 is here and Vt is here. Which is more, which is less? EF cos of delta 1 is more or not? Yes. So EF cos of delta 1 is more than Vt. If it is more than Vt, then what will happen? EF cos of delta is more, Vt is less. More minus less is going to be positive. So this becomes positive. So your Q. What will happen to your reactive power? Reactive power will become positive. Reactive power becomes positive in the sense it is supplying reactive power or not? Yes. Reactive power supplied or delivered, and it is going to be over excitation. So can I write down here that this particular EF case, this particular blue is nothing but over excitation? Overexcited, no problem solved. The next is what? If you see, this is EF, correct? So this is EF cos of delta 2. EF cos of delta 2 is this much. Now if you see EF cos of delta 2 magnitude and Vt magnitude, are they same or not? Yes, they are same. So for in case of EF cos of delta 2, we can say that since their magnitudes is same, EF cos of, what do we say, delta 2 is equal to Vt, means both of them are same. EF cos delta and Vt both are same. So can I say that Q is going to be 0? Q is going to be 0 in the sense neither deliver nor absorb, means it is going to be normal excitation. Yes or no? Yes, a normal excitation only. No. So can I say that this red is nothing but normal excitation? Yes or no? Yes. Now let us think of orange. What is happening for orange? If you see, this is going to be EF cos of, see, for orange, this length is going to be EF cos of delta 3. Yes or no? Yes, sir. EF cos delta is going to be this way. Correct or not? Yes. So if EF cos delta is this one, now if you compare, Vt is more, EF cos of delta 3 is less. Correct, no? Vt is more, EF cos of delta 3 is less. So can I write EF cos of delta 3 is less than Vt? Correct or not? In which case EF cos of delta 3 case this is happening. Correct? So can I say that what is happening to my Q? Q is going to be positive or negative? Negative. Yes or no? Q is going to be negative because EF cos of delta is less and Vt is more. Less minus more is going to be negative. Less minus more is negative. So can I say that it is absorb reactive power? Yes, absorb reactive power, which means can I say that it is under excited? Yes, I can say that it is under excited. Yes, sir. So basically what is there? This third case, this orange is going to be under excited. So we have got over excited condition also, normal excited condition also, and under excited condition as well. This is the whole story related to that phasor diagrams. Now see, I would like to make you all understand one thing. What is that? you know Without these diagrams we cannot do anything in synchronous. Why? Because if you see, sometimes if is changed, sometimes output power is changed, sometimes something else is changed, delta is changed, EF cos delta is changed, and sort of many things are there. That is the reason these particular things are very very important. So I would request you all to please practice them as much as you can. Watch the video again and again, such that it will get fixed in your mind. Okay, that's it from my side. Thank you.